Good morning, everybody. I have an important message for you today. Actually, I had a good night. I slept like a baby. Yeah, I figured this message is kind of essential for the people watching, and it's very important because, as usual, right? As usual, um, a sad and a sad amount of people still judge based on physical appearances, physical age, certain behaviors that they might judge superficial based on their own projections or undesirable or unwise, you know. And I've come here to say this, man. Have you ever noticed how, even in business, they always say the client is the king, right? The client is king. Even if the client is being rude, selfish, like even if the client is killing the seller or the waiter who's serving the food, it's like the waiter has no right to say anything and he just has to take it, right? And I've read something, I forgot where I read it. He said the world has a stupid habit of destroying and killing their own heroes and leaders because they project too much onto that one person or that group of individuals. Anyway, sometimes, again, based on your age, physical appearances, the language you speak, and how you look, people tend to associate with you a lot of adjectives, traits, characters that they might think like, oh, he's running according to that program right now. That's dangerous because he's running with that program, he's running with that program. And they kind of forget, if there is such a message in the possession of an individual, where is the logic or the reason behind the universe making or configuring such a message inside that individual's consciousness, right? If the universe in the first place did not know that that person is able and capable and willing to manage the message, his behavior, while also ensuring the growth of the receptors of the message. And it's always almost for me it's just funny, right? For me it's just funny, for real. It's like, have you ever seen a leader judge people? I've rarely seen, public speakers. I mean, a lot of our heroes and leaders, I've rarely seen them judge the people that they're talking to, the people that they love and that they address their message to. I've rarely seen them judge them because when you live in a building, now I'm not even going to take that example. Let's take that example in a school, right? Let's say you're in high school. If you're in 10th grade, you don't really have the time to judge the students below you. And when I say below, I'm not talking about they are inferior to you or nah. I'm talking about you understand them more than they understand you, more than they are even willing to understand you. And a lot of people, like, I don't know where they get the idea from. It's like they feel they have the right to project their own unconscious limitations, and these limitations, they can break them, right? They can break these limitations, but it's like they're not willing to break these limitations, and they will judge someone who broke these limitations for themselves and who has enough of people projecting or just managing them. It's like when a son tells his parents, "I am my own person," but the mom tells him, "No, you're not. You are our property." And the father tells, "Yes, you are our property. You don't have your own life. You don't have your own emotions. You don't have your own feelings. You don't have your own anything. We gave birth to you. You are ours. You are our property," and stuff like that. And it's always a burden for the kid, because the kid is always like, "I understand both of you, but you don't understand me. Like, neither of you understand me." And a lot of people, used to say, separate the messenger from the message. I get that. I get that. Me, I like to study the greats, man. I like to study them. And most of the decisions that they take, I like to study, like, why did they take those decisions? Because, history has a interesting way of painting certain decisions taken by certain individuals based on the trends of the period. Let me repeat that. History, not even gonna say history, humanity in general, the masses, have an interesting habit of judging a person's behavior based on their own labels and cues of the period that they're living in. Voltaire said something. He said, "The man who is really or truly illuminated is the one who was born in a period, but really had transcended that period." He didn't word it the way I just worded it, but he said, "The elevated man is not the one who is living like his mentality, who has the mentality of the age that is living in. The truly illuminated person or illuminated man or woman is the individual that lives beyond or farther than the age or the present period that is living in physically." I hope y'all understand, because it's always easier to jump into conclusions and judge, yeah, I'm not, like, there are certain things I'm not even gonna say, because for me, like, it's a waste of time, man. It's a waste of time. And judgments always fills up the wrong cups. Yeah. Judgment always fills up the wrong cups. Judgment always fills up the wrong cup. It's like when the artist says something, if it goes over if the punchline goes over people's head, it's like it's easier for them. They choose to say that punch is dumb. That punch is dumb, or that punch is empty. But they don't realize, like, damn, let me just try and double check what he said. Let me study his mind, maybe. Let me just figure out some things, because he always drops punches and after punches and stuff like that. And if on the surface it seems like he's dropping some dumb lines, maybe I'm in the wrong. Let me try and, figure out like what's up with that line. And that's why I said like earlier I studied the grace, because not only that they have experience, but they are willing to guide the younger ones that surely, they might know, like theoretically, mentally, they might know how to, navigate, certain areas, certain periods in their life. But the greats have already walked that path, and they're still walking it, and people are afraid of what they can comprehend. Not only that they're afraid, but they always prefer to judge because it's easy. It's easy to judge. It's so easy to judge, man. It's so easy to judge. It's so easy to misrepresent. It's so easy to throw dirt at someone. It's so easy. Like me, I don't really give these comments and the time of day, because since the dawn of time, man, it's always been like that, man. It's always been like that, and it's always been a few people, a few key people that are observing from afar, and that also have the kind of wisdom that the people that the masses are judging has, that really understand what's going on, and that choose to not judge and rather sit back or go somewhere, figure out some things, like why did he choose that route, like why did he suddenly abruptly do that. It's crazy, man. Like really, it's like for me, the biggest, one of the biggest, I'm not gonna say misunderstanding, because I understand why, but I really, really struggle to accept that the hardest thing for people is to just go inward and not project their own limitations onto someone that they don't even know how the person was raised. They just judge him based on the surface thing, how he dresses, how he talks, his actions, maybe the languages his songs he writes, and even the people you might think these are they know stuff, they know stuff, they are more in tune with their own emotions, with their own energies and stuff like that. Even these people, man, sometimes even when they are more careful in wording their words than the masses, of course, you gotta give them this credit. But nonetheless, it's so easy to judge. It's so easy to just jump into conclusions. It's easy. And I don't judge people for choosing the easy route. I never do. I never do. But my default settings are not like this. I don't like the easy route anyway. I don't like following the crowds. I don't like repeating something that somebody else has already done. Somebody else already did it or has already done. I don't like doing none of that. And people think he's just a kid, he's young and he's being savage. They think you really enjoy the being a savage or the savage time. They think you really have time to being bossy or showing off, or they think you have time for that. They don't even realize Even Buddha said that. Buddha said, your biggest problem is you think you have time. Let me repeat that. Buddha, Gautama Buddha said, your biggest problem is you think you have time. How to save time? You go inward. You stop judging. You stop, throwing rocks like, because you're so perfect, huh? The masses be judging people so much. You think they living the perfect lives, like they got everything figured out already. They got everything Ah man, this is why I love mentalities. This whole thing about mentalities, I love it. I love it. Because even the people you might say these are civilized people, they still have some unconscious, right? Some unconscious spots that slows them or kind of blocks them from realizing he's not playing God, man. Like, nigga doesn't even care about being God. Like, he knows we're all gods. He knows we're all gods. Why are you judging him like that? And the fact is, they can separate a godly act and a human act, because we're all gods and we're all humans at the same time. They don't understand complexity. This is the biggest roadblock for humanity in general, for people in general. Here I'm talking about life. I'm not even talking about music. I'm talking life. This is the biggest problem. They struggle so much to understand complexity. I know, man. That's why, most times I stay quiet. I stay, silent. 1,000% silent. Not 100, 1,000% quiet, silent. Because I know, the best channel to get my answers or my higher self, or from meditation, or from, and not projecting my own insecurities and fears into other people and judging them, saying they play God, or they think they God, or they think they don't need God, or they think they know it all, or they have it all figured out. If only people knew, man. Anyway, y'all, this message is not for everybody. If you understand it, I'm glad you do. If you don't, just skip. If you feel the need to unsubscribe to the channel, please, by all means, do. My videos are not for everybody. My songs are not for everybody. My personality is not for everybody. My story is not for everybody. That's why I don't judge, because I know, I'm not for everyone. I'm not trying to please anyone. Everyone. I'm not trying to, suit into every boxes. That's stupid. You can't, walk every shoes possible. Nah. But anyway, peace out, y'all.